Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. It's Kaghoe coming at you with another video. So today, we're going to be going over the official blue post from Blizzard about the Phase 5 PTR launch. Now, this is their words and the changes that they are for sure putting in and tweaking so people are able to sort of test these specifically and do it. What we covered yesterday in the data mining video was a ton of changes, but they're not necessarily going to happen. Those are still data mines, and as we have seen by what they've done in previous phases, not everything that's data mined makes it into the game. So this is going to be the official list of things to look at. But before we get in the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Everything you guys do helps my channel grow, helps me get discovered, and helps me help as many people as possible, which is the entire point of my channel. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So I'm going to switch it over right here to the patch notes, and it says Blackwing Lair and Zul'Gurub. In Season of Discovery, Blackwing Lair is a 20 to 40 player raid dungeon, and Zul'Gurub is a 10 to 20 player raid dungeon. So this is exactly what we have seen with Onyxia, Azurgos, and Kha'Zix, and we did see it with MC, but it was kind of a bug, and now they're just full on giving us Blackwing Lair and ZG with those flexes. So it's tuned for 20 people, it is tuned for 10 people, and we will be able to have 40 or 20 people in there. The difficulty will not scale or change, and the number of loot drops does not increase or decrease based on the number of people in the raid. So that is the difference between this being flex raiding and a 20 to 40 man player raid dungeon. So the loot and the difficulty has no impact whether you bring 20 or 40 people. So it's very important to see that and understand the distinction. You'll be able to speak to an NPC to port directly into Blackwing Lair or ZG from Stormwind or Orgrimmar. For raid tested, we've enabled the character copy from live sod realms, as well as having added molten core loot, consumables, and other helpful items to the vendors. Class adjustments. Wild Strikes will now state that it's raid wide. Dream State now triggers Star Search regardless of it being a critical strike or not. In addition, it also increases arcane damage taken by the target by 20%. So that could mean arcane mages might become something of a thing, with druids providing that 20% damage buff, just similar to how we see it with shadow and fire and a lot of the other classifications that are already there. So that's something to keep in mind with that change. Next is your favorite class for all of you sod gamers is Hunter. Beast Mastery, this rune is now a chest rune. Existing Beast Mastery engravings will appear as damaged rune. Cobra Slayer, this rune is now a glove rune. Existing Cobra Slayer engravings will appear as a damaged rune. Lone Wolf, the bonus damage from this rune has been decreased to 30% from 35%. Improve Volley, this rune now also increases volley damage by 100%, so just straight up doubling volley, which is insane. Hit and Run, this rune now increases movement speed after using Raptor Strike by 30% for up to 15 seconds, up from 15% for 8 seconds, so you'll be able to run a lot with a melee hunter. Cat-like reflexes, this rune no longer mentions the removed ability kill command, so that's good. Lock and Load, this rune's effect now has an 8-second cooldown, so that's a big nerf to hunters right there. Conjure Water, mages can now learn summon rank 8 water without crossing through the dark portal. It can be learned via skill book found somewhere in the world, so we're getting TVC water in Classic via mages, so that's going to be awesome. Mage vending machines are back online. Please, for the love of God, let us craft 20, or I'm going to be so sad. If it's 10, it's just obnoxious for no reason. Mage gems, mana gems in Season of Discovery now cost no mana to summon. This is amazing. Regeneration, mana cost reduced by approximately 35%. Mass regeneration, mana reduced by approximately 35%. So mages are finally getting that mana maintenance that feels absolutely abysmal to play with right now. So just Biss Water from TBC and getting no mana cost to summon our mana gems is going to be huge for quality of life for mage players. Paladin, Horde of Lordaeron. This ability is back and now available as a skill book to Paladin's Testament of Horn of Lordaeron can be acquired via new Paladin quest. So you get your Horn of Lordaeron Paladins and Alliance players. Priest, Vampiric Embrace in Season of Discovery. Vampiric Embrace now converts 10% of shadow spell damage done into healing, down from 20%. It can still be improved by 10% via the improved Vampiric Embrace talent, so it's just 10% less. Priest healers are still insane. Despair now increases critical strike damage to 200% for all priest skills. It previously only increased the critical strike damage of periodic spells, so that's great that it is on all and makes Shadow Priest not have to be really weird with its rotation. Just a Flesh Rune now decreases physical damage dealt by 20% while Blade Dance is active. Threat bonus increase to 165% was 111%. So Rogue tanks and Warlock tanks, which we will cover shortly, they have been doing too much damage, so you really only used Rogue and Warlock tanks when you were speedrunning and at the highest ends, and it made all the other tanks feel like crap because of how much damage they did. So like you wanted them as almost like a DPS tank, similar to like Fury Warrior tanking early on, but it was kind of crazy. Shamans, Power Surge Rune has been slightly redesigned. Flame Shock periodic damage can no longer make the Shaman's next chain heal instant, and the Riptide periodic healing can no longer reset the cooldown on Lava Burst and Chain Lightning, and can no longer make those spells instant. So I'm not entirely sure what else Power Surge did other than change those instant casts and procs and stuff. But that's probably a much desired shaman nerf that I know a lot of you guys have been commenting on every single patch note update video I have posted. So there you guys go. You'll no longer get instigated by those shamans as much. Warlock, Demonic Grace, the dodge chance and critical strike chance bonuses from this ability have been reduced to 20% from 30%. Metamorphosis now also decreases all damage done by the Warlock by 20%. Threat now increased by 85% up from 50%. So like I said with the Rogue, this is just them making the class more on par with the other tanks and being a tank and not just a DPS class that is also a tank in quotes. It'll help a lot for those builds being obnoxious in PvP as well. So I'm okay with it. I don't play a Rogue or Warlock, so I can't really say how like insane they are. I just know from a meta build and what you want, and that's why they did it. Warrior, Quick Strike, the percentage of attack power damage dealt by this ability has been increased to 25%. To 35%, up 10% to 20%. So that is a good buff for warriors. They're going to be cranking. Frenzied Assault, attack speed increased from this rune increases to 30% from 20%. In addition, it also now causes the warrior to gain 2 rage each time they get hit with a melee attack. Devastate, the damage dealt by this rune now generates 50% increased threat while the warrior is in defensive stance. Does not apply while in Gladiator stance. Fresh Meat now also triggers from Mortal Strike and Shield Slam. Rampage no longer triggers or is limited by the global cooldown. So that's awesome. You can use your Rampage pretty much all the time. Ranged weapon specializations. This ring rune now also increases the chance for beast pets to hit by 2%. Healing specialization. This rune increases healing by up to 26 and can be found via a new discovery. Meditation specialization. This new ring rune increases mana regen every 5 seconds by 5 and can be found via a new discovery. Known issues. Character copies are missing. Flight paths, of course they are. They never can seem to get that one right. The drop-down menu present on the auction house frames are currently overlapping other areas within the UI. No one should be using the auction house on PTR, so hopefully it's fine. There are missing and stretched textures present in the options menu. There is an issue preventing you to be able... Okay, so these are just a bunch of small issues Biggest one is enabling and disabling visible action bars has several issues. Action bar settings may not be remembered after reloading the UI or relogging. Action bar checkboxes may hide or reveal the incorrect action bar. So this is, the official notes. They locked them, so no comments from you guys in order to see what they are saying. But that was a whole lot. I did my best to sort of break it down, explain why we were getting some changes, why we weren't getting a few of them, and, just my general overall thoughts on them. So I would love to hear from you guys. I know Hunters got nerfed. They nerfed Warlock and Rogue tanking, but that's, some people see nerfs as terrible bad in the world, but at the end of the day, I think is bringing them in par with the rest of the other classes. But there were a whole lot of buffs there too. Mages with mana, thank God we are getting something, because it has been miserable outside of Raid. The only reason Raid is fine here on the Horde, at least, is we have infinite mana batteries with Shamans and Shadow Priests, so we're never going to run out in a Raid situation. But just having the ability to make all of our mana gems use them as we go will be so much nicer. And that new TBC water is going to be sought after like crazy, so everyone's going to hit up that mage vending machine in Org and ask for it. So that'll be cool too. I hope it's a fun little quest to learn that instead of just, a book that's going to cost like 1,000 gold day one. But anyway, guys, that's it for this video. I truly hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, I'll see you later. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Hey, you. Yes, you. Are you still there? Well, I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this entire video and making it to the end here. If you enjoyed this video, definitely check out the other videos about World of Warcraft listed in these playlists down below. And thank you again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.